it's 47 degrees here in Ohio. Feels like 37. But we have banana trees flourishing in our greenhouse right now. Actually 89 degrees in our greenhouse. We did have a fire in the wood burner this morning, but right now that is mostly just from the sun. So how are we keeping our greenhouse going all year long, even through the freezing, even up to negative temperatures in Ohio? I have an avocado tree, actually 2 avocado trees that my husband has grown from seed. He actually brought the seed back from Kenya when we visited last time. Back here we have a lemon tree, and then we have our banana trees here. The next one we have is an olive tree. It's like 2, maybe 3 years old. We have another lemon tree here, and then we have a small mandarin orange tree here. We used to spend so much time moving our little fruit trees in and out every summer and winter. It was such a pain, especially as they got bigger. And we used to have a greenhouse attached to our old house, and it was a complete fail because we didn't have the right polycarbonate panels. It got way too hot because we didn't have a fan to automatically kick on and pull out the hot air. It would also get way too cold in the winter because we did not have the wood burner in there. We actually got this wood burner free from someone, and it has been working amazing. We did make the mistake a few times of having the vent way too open, and it would just burn through the wood really fast. But my husband has figured out if you just barely leave it open, like just a crack, it burns slow and hot for like hours and hours and hours. If we would happen to let the fire go out, we have natural gas, and we have a little heater here that it will kick on automatically by itself if it does get too cold, because it would be terrible to lose all these trees that we've had in this greenhouse for about 3 years. So here you can see we have the foam insulation board. We dug down and buried that 2 feet along the entire perimeter of our greenhouse, and that has made a huge difference for our trees. Doesn't let the ground freeze and really keeps the ground nice and warm for them. Polycarbonate panels have made a huge difference for our greenhouse and really help to trap the heat and keep it in. It's on all the walls of our greenhouse and on the roof. Our greenhouse roof goes from 12 feet up to 14 feet, and when the trees get too tall, we just trim them down. We also have the black G-rib metal on the south side of our house, and that really helps to draw the heat in as the sun shines in. That black metal really draws the heat in and helps to keep it in. Believe it or not, your greenhouse can also get way too hot in the winter when it's sunny. So you don't want that to happen either, because your plants will just wither. So we have this automatic fan up here, and whenever it reaches a certain temperature, that will kick on and help to draw the heat out. And we also have a bunch of windows that we can open on both sides of the greenhouse so that it helps to draw that hot air out as well. We also keep the fan going just to have movement and airflow. You also don't want to overwater and let things moldy, but you also don't want it to get too dry because the wood burner makes things really dry. And so we have an automatic water that we can just turn this on, and it'll go for however much time you want, and it will just water the plants for us, and just keep everything nice and moist and everything just watered, because it can be a lot to water everything every single day, but with the automatic water it really helps. But I actually think we need to buy a new one because it's not spraying out very well anymore. I actually harvested bananas from this banana tree last January, and they were so good. The thing about growing fruit trees is that it takes so much time to actually get the fruit, but it's totally worth it. Another great thing about having a greenhouse attached to your house is that we can open up this door, and whenever the sun is shining and it's like really hot out here, we can actually heat our house with the greenhouse, which is really awesome. We have our wood pile just right outside of our greenhouse, so it's easy to fix the fire and keep it going. But it's so nice in the winter time when it's just freezing and you're missing summer, you can just come into the greenhouse and it's like 90 degrees or 80 degrees and you feel like you're stepping into like a little tropical forest. The windows and even this door here, we got most of these free just from searching around and trying to build this as cheaply as possible. And we also buried these tongue and groove boards down 2 feet as well, come up to about here. A lot of people ask how much does it cost to make something like this, and my dad figured it out because we live on a family compound, and so he did the whole design for this greenhouse. He's also a carpenter, and so we built our greenhouse by hand, like ourselves. And so without paying for labor and just the materials, this cost us about $5,000. We saved money by searching like Marketplace, looking for old used windows, free windows. We got the pavers on the ground somewhere else for free, and so we just tried to build it as cheap as possible, and we did most of the work ourselves. I really recommend putting a sink in your greenhouse because it's so nice just to have access to water out here when you're starting your seeds or making solutions or anything for your plants. And also for the garden in the summer, whenever I bring in fresh vegetables or anything, it's so nice to have a sink that you can wash those out here before you take them in the house. Having a nice patio walkway is super nice because you don't have to be like stepping in the dirt all the time, which helps keep things cleaner. We're planning to till this part of it up and maybe do like a little spinach bed to have through the winter, which I think would be nice because spinach does really well in cool weather, as well as maybe some carrots. We have a little bit of herbs growing here. My pepper plant is not doing great right now, but we also have some collards that we moved in from the garden. A lot of people have asked us why we don't use like the big water barrels to heat our greenhouse, and eventually we might try that, but they kind of take a lot of space and I don't want to lose any more space that I could plant something. So that's kind of why we haven't added anything else besides the wood burner, and it works well for us. We do have to harvest quite a bit of wood, but we've been able to do that from our own land so far. So eventually we might get fancy and try to heat with other sources, more natural sources or different kinds of ways of doing it. But right now the wood burner seems to work really well for us. But we might try things in the future. I just don't want to lose any planting space. Let me know in the comments what other questions I can answer about greenhouses. Just because it's winter doesn't mean you have to shut your greenhouse down. Follow along for more homesteading tips, and we'll see you in the next one.